I'll start with Sam Bean, please.
Hi, Mikel. Saturday was the first time this season that Laka and Nico Pepe all started the same match, which feels quite extraordinary, really. Why do you think they haven't worked as a front three, as a trio, as well as people might have hoped when Nico arrived?
For different reasons. One of them because we have so many changes around the team, so many injuries and COVID, and a lot of things happening with competition that we have to alternate and still be competitive in both sides. And sometimes because the qualities that we have around the team and that cohesion that the team needs, sometimes we believe it's better to do it in a different way.
They're obviously very close off the pitch, especially Over and Laka. Is it almost, do you kind of expect them to have a more natural connection on the pitch too at times because of that, or is it totally different?
The connection comes with 11 players on the pitch and how they create that cohesion, that fluidity. And I guess Liverpool it didn't happen, but not because of them three, it's because all of us. So it's not good just to put the individuals there.
Thanks.
Mark?
Briefly, yeah, I think it's now 13 games without a clean sheet from your team. Defensively, you seem to have it sorted around the new year, but it seems to have gone backwards a bit at the back in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's true that to be much more stable, we cannot concede the amount of goals that we did in the last 2 games. It's something that is not been a trend for us, and we have to get better at, and we are trying to resolve that as well, Mark.
Can I ask you briefly about Hector Bellerin, because he seems to have sort of dropped out of the team recently. Is there any particular reason for that?
No, it's because the decision that we've made, he's played a lot this season, much more than what he's done in the last 2 seasons, that's for sure. Someday we have to rest him, someday we want to give chances as well to Cedric and to Callum, that in recent weeks he was completely free to offer something different to the team, and that's it, but he's fully fit, available, and in contention to play and start games.
Thank you.
A lot about public criticism and sort of the fallout from Saturday. You always take a lot of that criticism and blame on your shoulders, but do the players feel it? Do you see the hurt that sort of affecting the players, and how much does it hurt them to see that kind of criticism and sort of the fans reacting in the way that they do?
Yeah, it's just about how we take the criticism. For me, it's not good, to get the criticism to feel guilty, because that guiltness is going to take you into fear. It's about feeling responsible, and that's for me the key word. We have to feel responsible for what we do every day, for what we do on that pitch, for the club that we represent, and then act, and not too much talking this time for acting.
And I guess they've just got to show that response tomorrow night, but through this competition feels like it's a last chance.
It's the only way we can do it, John, because at the end of the day it's about winning football matches, being competitive in every competition that we are involved, and win trophies. That's what we're here for.
Thanks, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's another public criticism one, I'm afraid. Different voice though. Emmanuel Petit has said today that he feels that the club, Arsenal, now looks like a retreat club for old players to go on vacation, is his impression that he's got. When a figure with such a rich history at the club has that assessment, how do you react to that? And are the players showing enough passion out there? That specific thing, whether they play well or badly, do you think that they're showing enough passion?
I don't know. He knows the club really well. He was here in the probably most successful years at the club, and he's got that opinion. I'm here to change that opinion. I'm here to give the evaluation of what I see every day, and where we are. And I know where we are and where we want to go, and we have to respect that.
Sorry, and on that specific thing, do you think the players show enough passion, whether they feel it or not? Do you think that they show it?
Showing, it goes with the character. There are people that are much more introvert or extrovert, that show emotions with the body language much more than others. That doesn't mean that they don't hurt. For sure, players that they don't have that emotion, that passion, and that commitment, they won't be in this football club.
Could we have your thoughts on the racism controversy surrounding Slavia and what you think of the player being banned for one match?
That's completely on UEFA. There's an investigation there, and they have for sure all the evidence and what happens, and I don't to make a fair comment.
Understand that. If that allegation was to be found proven, would you be in favour of strong action against both the player and the club?
Well, we are in favor of stopping any racism or discrimination out of this game, and I think we are making a lot of steps forwards for that to happen. And I think we all the managers and players and the staff have been very supportive of that.
There were calls for Slavia to be thrown out if this was to be proven. Is that a course of action you would support in that event?
Again, it will depend on what happens on the investigations and the rules that we have with the action that you are able to take if they determine and that happens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It seems like every time we talk at the moment, we're talking about a pivotal week where there's no margin for error and the whole season hangs on this. And it's a road that we've been going down maybe since mid-February. That must be quite exhausting, mustn't it? Maybe for you and maybe for the players as well, that constantly everything seems to be on the line every single time.
I take it, Nick, every week like that, and since I joined certainly, and I joined in the middle of a season, and then we haven't had any break, and a lot of issues going on, and it was a deadline, always a deadline. You have to make a decision with a player, with a circumstance, after a result, with a competition, is what it is in this moment. That's the demands that we have in this football club, and that's the role that you have to be able to fulfill and manage, and that's it. It's true. And at the end of the season, when you play for a big club and you are playing competitions, you have a deadline. You have to perform because if not, you are out, and this is what we are.
I think you said after the game on Saturday that the players looked mentally tired, maybe more than physically tired. How can you get them mentally fresh again 4 days later?
It's just getting that inner energy and passion because you have the opportunity to win something, and that energy, when you use it in the right way, is a big lift, and hopefully we can transmit that to the players so they are in that mode when they step into that pitch.
Good luck.
Thank you.